What's up, guys? This is Soundwave Jordan here, and I'm back with another video. And as you guys can see from here, we have another expanded story regarding the Killer Instinct Season 1 characters. That's right, guys. As you guys can see from here, we have the character Orchid, the hot female fatale from. Did I even say that right? I'm not even sure. But does that even make sense? I don't know. Anyways, we have one of the top characters from Killer Instinct, one of the popular characters known as Orchid. Everyone loves her. She's been a long-time fan favorite in the Killer Instinct franchise. And right now we have an expanded backstory. And I'm actually quite interested in her backstory considering that she's related to Jago. For those who do not know, Jago and Orchid are brothers and sisters. And right now we're going to be looking at the expanded story. So let me prepare my monitor. Let's get ready to read, shall we? Let's go. Orchid is the leader of an Eastern European spy ring known as the Disavowed. Okay, I'm just okay. All of the members of this organization claim to have been wronged by Ultratech, and their goal is to bring down the mega corporation using sabotage, infiltration, industrial espionage, and guerrilla warfare tactics. An American by birth, Orchid started out her career in intelligence as an operative for the Special Welfare Department (SWD), a covert ops wing of Homeland Security. But after a deep operation inside Ultratech's research and development branch, an, an operation during which several scientists died in a lab explosion, the SW claimed that Orchid had been extremely unstable and paranoid. She was disowned by the Homeland Security and accused of murdering her commanding officer. Orchid claimed that she had been framed by Ultratech, but she was branded a terrorist and forced to flee the country, making her way to the Carpathian Mountains. Using the skills taught to her by the SWD, she formed the Disavowed and started recruiting members mainly from former Soviet states. Okay, so from the looks of it, Orchid's a refugee. I guess you can say that. Or she's been considered a terrorist. One must go back to Orchid's childhood to discover the roots of her origins as an international spy. She was a military brat raised by her single father, a member of the elite SEAL Team 6. From an early age, Orchid showed signs of emotional instability and would fly into blind rages. In the sixth grade, while her father was away on a hostage rescue mission to free aid workers taken in Pakistan, she locked herself in a room at school after being taught by some kids and started a fire that nearly burned down the building, blaming it on something she called the fire cat. Oh, guys, that's crazy. That's crazy. You guys know her fire cat. She was placed in a juvenile detention facility for a month and given psychiatric evaluation until her father returned. When he found out what had happened, he immediately went AWOL, taking his daughter to an isolated cabin in the mountains that he had set up as a survivalist compound. The fire cat, he knew, was real. He had once seen his late mother, Orchid's grandmother, conjure a flaming beast in a fit of rage. He knew that during World War II, his mother had volunteered as a test subject for security's military study, Project Arius 9. Orchid's strange power had apparently been passed down to her from her grandmother's DNA. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. He started training Orchid in hand-to-hand combat, firearms, and the melee weapons he learned to wield on a military base in the Philippines, the spring batons. He knew that he had to teach his daughter to control her rage and channel it because he feared that either Ultratech or the government would try to use her and her hidden power as a tool. He set her seemingly impossible tasks, both mental and physical, and helped her find the hidden resource inside herself to overcome these challenges. Orchid learned to run it for an entire day without stopping, or to shoot the sword off a suicide king playing card from 500 yards with a sniper rifle. Impressive. The most aspect of the training, however, was teaching her to summon the fire cat. Anger, her father explained, was a powerful emotion, but it was useless in battle. A soldier had to be laser focused on simultaneously killing the enemy and staying alive. And to do this, they had to practice emergency conditioning, mentally preparing for any kind of combat situation through pre-visualization. He had her create a mental trigger for calling the fire cat, and rather than associating with something bad like rage or humiliation, he told her to think of something that made her feel proud and strong. Orchid followed his advice and felt her hands start to glow with energy, and then the fire cat burst forth, obliterating an old car that sat in the compound. It was a joyous feeling. They stayed in the cabin for 2 years, training in the mountains and woods, until the Special Welfare Department finally tracked them down, sending an overwhelming force. Orchid's father was too valuable to be put in a military prison, so he was coerced to return to his duties in exchange for Orchid's freedom. The last thing he told his daughter was to only use her power unless it was a life or death situation. Orchid was placed in the care of a military foster family while her father was sent on a covert mission to Afghanistan. After a year, he was killed in a suicide bombing attack, and his body was not recovered. Orchid never had a chance to tell him that when she called upon the Firecat, she was thinking of him, imagining his wise and intense eyes peering into her own. Orchid was devastated, spiraling into a dark depression. As a teenager, she often got into trouble and ended up running away from her foster family and living on the streets. After being arrested for arson, she was questioned in the jail by a woman named Major Weaver. She was a commander from the Special Welfare Department who declaimed that she had been monitoring Orchid for years. Weaver told Orchid that she had incredible potential and that she should follow in her father's footsteps as a patriot and a warrior. She invited Orchid to join the SWD, telling her that she would be able to help avenge her father's death, which was not caused by a suicide bomber, but rather an Ultra-Check drone sold to enemy combatants. And then she gave Orchid a partially destroyed journal as a sign of her good faith, telling her that it had belonged to Orchid's father. Yo, this is pretty long. Oh my gosh. Joining the SWD seemed like the best path at the time, and Orchid plunged headlong into the intense training. Besides courses in espionage and killing techniques, she was taught how to speak Chinese and Russian fluently. She also became an expert in HAHO, high altitude, high opening parachute jumping. In her spare moments, she pored over her father's partially destroyed journal, gleaning in from it anything that she could about the mystery surrounding his death. The journal revealed a startling secret. Orchid had a younger brother. Hey, Jago, that's what I was mentioning, guys. Orchid had a younger brother, the result of her father's affair with a foreign aid worker whom he had saved in Pakistan. She couldn't pronounce his name properly, Jacob, and called him Jago, which made him laugh. The woman had disappeared in the foothills of the Himalayas as soon as her child was born, and Jacob has not been able to track her down or the baby. He wasn't present during the birth, but he knew it was a boy. Let's go down. Over the decade, Orchid successfully completed missions in Shania. I don't know how to pronounce that. I apologize, guys, but in Chechnya, Russia, China, and Africa for the SWD. During these operations, she kept finding clues that linked an international terrorist cabal to Ultratech, but these puzzle pieces were few and far between. Finally, Major Weaver assigned Orchid to do deep cover operation at Ultratech itself, posing as a research scientist. Orchid heard whispers of a program called the Pinnacle Protocol and discovered fragments of information pointing toward an alien crash site. Her greatest and most agonizing revelation, however, was finding out the key members of the Special Welfare Department were under control of the AI known as ARIA. But Orchid took many risks and her cover got blown. Surrounded by a horde of Fugor units, she summoned the Firecat, setting fire to a lab and causing a massive explosion. She escaped the facility in chaos. Orchid went directly to Major Weaver and reported her findings, but the woman who recruited her told her that she was paranoid and delusional, dismissing her from the SWD. Orchid left Weaver's office in despair, only to see on a news report that later that night that Weaver, along with her entire section, had been murdered in a bombing, and Orchid was the prime suspect. So she fled the country, gaining passage on a Russian cargo ship, utilizing all the survival skills taught to her by her father and the espionage training of the SWD. It wasn't long before Orchid started to disavow and recruited its first members. Using technical data that she stolen from Ultratech, she created the electrified spring batons that became her trademark. During one of her covert missions in Europe, she met the monster hunter Maya and formed a friendship. I knew it! Okay. I'm sorry, guys, but I just had a feeling that Orchid and Maya would get along so well. Like when I would play Killer Instinct and see them fight, I'm like, yo, I feel like these two would just be like the ultimate fighting duo or something like that. And this is actually happening. Oh my gosh, that's freaking awesome. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. Where were we? There we go. And Maya and Monster Hunter Maya formed a friendship. Orchid also came into contact with a young Native American named Eagle. He messaged the Spal through a forum run by cyber descendants, trying to find someone to help him bring down Ultratech. Orchid brought him into the spy ring, and after deciding that he was legitimate and not a plant, sent him on a mission to the Killer Instinct tournament. After Eagle was reported killed in the tournament, she took on a persona of Black Orchid and entered the tournament herself in hopes of finding out what happened to the young fighter. She was nearly killed by Jago before she realized this warrior monk from the Himalayas, who had the same eyes as her late father Jacob, was her younger sibling. After the tournament, Orchid and Jago joined forces with TJ Combo, vowing to bring down Ultratech together. And Orchid and Jago promised each other that they will uncover the secret about what had happened to their father, as well as the reason why Jago had been abandoned at the temple. The trio of Jago, Orchid, and TJ joined the monster hunter Maya at the headquarters of the Night Guard in the Andes, hoping to form a plan of attack against Arya. But this seemingly hidden outpost was soon invaded by an Ultratech battle force, and the companions were surrounded by a massive number of Riptoids and Fulgor units. Orchid stared into the face of death and was just about to call upon the Fire Cat for one last time, but suddenly the enemy called off the attack, leaving a stunned Orchid to wonder who or what had stopped the Ultratech army from wiping them out. As she contemplated her last several encounters with Ultratech, Orchid realized that she had spent too much time forcing direct confrontation with her enemies. To improve as a fighter, she will need to embrace her skills as a spy and focus on the elements of surprise. So this story, first of all, it's extremely long. Like, these stories are just getting longer. That's the interesting part. That's the really interesting part. And secondly, what do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think of this? This is actually insane. They go so deep into detail regarding the backstories of each of the season 1 characters. And it's like, it's crazy. We learned about Orchid's father. We learned about Orchid's past. She was a troubled child. She had many issues with herself, and she later finds out that she has a younger brother, Jago. It's crazy, man. It's actually insane. But let's not go too crazy with it, because I wanna know what you guys think about this. So leave your comments in the comment section below, because I'm interested in what you guys have to say about this whole entire story. It's rather crazy, and I did not know they were going to go this in depth regarding Orchid. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys would like to, leave a like, comment, or subscribe if you enjoy my content and really enjoy any other future things. I upload gaming news, and I'm currently following Killer Instinct Season 3 news. So hit that subscribe button for all your Killer Instinct Season 3 news. It will be much appreciated. In addition to that, I want to thank you guys for always watching my videos. It means a lot to me that you guys keep up and, look forward to your subscriptions regarding my videos. It means a lot to me, and it keeps me going. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching once again. The next character is more likely going to be Spinal. He's a really dark character, and I'm really interested to see about his past. It's probably going to be pirate related, obviously, but hey, that's Killer Instinct for you. We have a variety of characters. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching once again. This is Soundwave Jordan here. Peace. Late.